Okay, the last part of the lecture will be quite short. Just a few random things. I've specially seated myself here so that you could see the beautiful Free State landscape in the background. I've repositioned myself now. Okay, just to continue about the theme of this infant or these infants being deposited. The other word, there were other words used to describe such an infant, foundling, vondeling in Afrikaans, foundling in English, because this infant was simply found. Die kind is gevind. The baby was found on the steps or wherever it was deposited. The other word was that the baby was exposed, because obviously, it was taken out of the warmth and safety of a room and simply put somewhere outside on the steps. The Italian word is esposito. You can hear exposed, esposito. To this day, we still have the surname in Italian, Esposito. So whoever has that surname knows that his ancestry or her ancestry can be traced back to an infant that was deposited or exposed, in other words, to a foundling. Very interesting. Another totally random fact, it is said that one of the inventors of the pizza was a Giancarlo Esposito. So, there's a wonderful, whenever you eat a pizza again, one of the greatest inventions of the modern world, think of Giancarlo Esposito. Okay, the last thing I want to say is that what happened, I'll go into more detail about this, what happened to these babies. One thing, because this practice was so rife of simply depositing a baby somewhere, for somebody else to take care of the baby, that some institutions started making provision for such a place where such a baby could be deposited. And I'll read you, I mentioned the contemporary accounts by travelers visiting Venice in earlier centuries. So I'll just read you one such an account by Thomas Corriot, who visited Venice in 1608. Now, of course, his English is very archaic. You'll have to concentrate. But I will read you just an excerpt from one of his travels and one of his reports in the travels concerning this provision that was made. He uses the word courtesan. The other word that he uses is bastard. Now, of course, today that is a negative term, it's a pejorative term. But in previous centuries, it was simply a term describing somebody who didn't know who their father and or mother was. So it wasn't meant in any derogatory sense. It was simply a technical term describing somebody who didn't know who his father or their father or mother was. Okay, I'll read you the excerpt. And then we're done for the first week. Corriot mentioned in 1608 the following. If any of them, this is now the courtesans, happen to have any children, they are either brought up at their own charge, in other words, on their own costs, or in a certain house of the city, appointed for no other use, but only for the bringing up of the courtesans' bastards, which I saw eastward above St. Mark's Street, near to the seaside, in the south wall of which building that looketh towards the sea, I observed a certain iron grate inserted into a hollow piece of the wall, betwixt which grate and a plain stone beneath it, there is a convenient little space to put in an infant. Moving words, we will carry on next week. So long.